Alrighty, we'll start with Carly. Carly, go ahead.
Hey Kennedy, how are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I got one logistical question before we start talking about this season. What are your plans for the off season? Are you going to play back in China again, or what's kind of the goal there?
My plans are to go play. Since it's kind of just the first day after basketball, I'm kind of like in the process of just resting, making sure my foot is okay, getting back to the drawing board with my agent, and then after that, going overseas.
When you look back at this season, when I spoke to you at the beginning of the season, you said you wanted to prove that you belong. Do you feel like you've done that this year?
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely made a statement, and I've definitely allowed everyone to see my talent and embrace just me being back in the WNBA as a whole.
And then I have another one more. You came in to a whole new team from top down, GM, head coach, and this whole roster. How would you evaluate Spoon's first year as a head coach in the WNBA?
I would evaluate Spoon's first year is great. I think that she's faced a lot of adversity, as we all have. I faced adversity, and she was able to make me a better player. She was able to help the organization grow, and she was able to make us better women overall. So I think her first year, it was special. We did what nobody thought we could do. We were 12th coming in, and we made a playoff run. Unfortunately, we had a lot of people who were down, and we had a lot of changes. But in the future, I'm looking forward to see what Spoon can do.
And then I'm sorry, I got one last one here. You're restricted free agent heading into this off season. You know, whether or not you do return with the Sky, what is like a main priority or a main checklist that you want to have with your new team for 2025?
Well, I think a main checklist is just making sure that I'm valued, making sure that I am prioritized and well taken care of in all aspects, not just basketball. That means the training room, the weight room, all of those things are important to me when I'm selecting a team.
Thank you so much and good luck in China.
Thank you.
Julia, then Jordan.
Hey Kennedy, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. First off, just kind of can you walk us through the injury, what exactly happened, and maybe what kind of timeline you're looking at in terms of being able to return to play?
Yeah, so I think in the Minnesota game, I typically just did like a normal step back. I don't know if it was on the initial step or, as you guys know, I jump really high when I shoot. So I don't know if it was like on the release, and I just felt like a weird, like kind of sharp, dull pain in the middle of my heel. And after I landed and I was running back, I kind of started running with a limp. Initially, I thought it would like, I guess adrenaline would kill it, but it never did. I felt pain the whole game. After the game, I was kind of diagnosed with plantar fasciitis, but it wasn't that. So I'm still trying to figure out exactly what's going on with the heel. But I'm day to day right now. Pain is going down. As for a timeline, I would give myself now that I'm free from play and I can rest the foot completely, I give it about maybe 7 days before I could just get back out there, just with no play, 7 days.
Okay. Then I know you talked about free agency kind of in the abstract, but in terms of your priorities for the offseason, is your main goal to come back to Chicago next year?
Uh, my main goal is always just to be somewhere I wanted. I love being here. I enjoyed the season. It was fun. It was special. I think that if Chicago wants me back, then I'm interested in coming back. I think that's just, yeah.
Thanks, Kennedy. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Jordan.
Hey Kennedy, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. So I want to go back to the foot injury thing. You mentioned that it started during the Minnesota game, and then we saw you play in the next game against Phoenix. So was it more so after that Phoenix game, it was just too painful to play through, or that's when the pain really started kicking in?
No, I think after the Minnesota game, I sat out, if I'm
Mm.
correct. Yeah, after the Minnesota game, I was unavailable to play the next two games. Like
Okay.
this was like recent. This was 3 games ago.
Gotcha. And then just one last question. So obviously you started off on the bench being a huge boost for as far as scoring, and then we saw you, do that times 10 when you were named to the starting lineup. I guess just talk about, throughout the season, what's been something about your game that has stood out that not many people paid attention to?
I think just my ability to grow. I think I've grown my game in all areas from just being able to consistently attack the basket, mid-range, pull up, even just knock down a couple threes this season. I think I've allowed everyone to see that the work that I've put in is showing. I'm a player that works hard and I take my craft serious. So just being a 3-level scorer.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Andy?
Hey, Kennedy, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you for asking. We look back at your career, we had the 2022 season with the Sparks, and I think everyone can agree that might not have been the best fit for you at the time. You take a year off, you come here, and it's pretty much one of the best, I guess, comebacks you could imagine for taking a year off in the W and everything like that. Whether it was on the court, off the court, mentally, strategically, what do you feel helped you kind of have this resurgence and kind of show that you belong here, and you prove that you have your stake in the W?
Well, I think it was the time. I think that one of the things that people didn't realize was that my clock had just gotten larger. I had more time to plan and prepare and just work on my game for my return in general, and then just work on my mental and, physical ability outside of basketball. So while I was away from the game, I was planning and just getting ready for the things I wanted to do and things that I wanted to accomplish. So it was kind of just like almost like a cheat sheet for me because I pretty much seen this coming before anybody seen it coming.
Yeah, and especially kind of adding on to that, I think the Chicago crowd really received you well at many times during the season. They just love to see you grow in your game and stuff like that. How good of a feeling is that to step out on the court and everybody's just going nuts for you?
That was good. I mean, to get standing ovations and just to be perceived by like that by the fans, just loved. Obviously, I'm new. I had just came in, so for them to show me that love, care, and support, it made me feel good. When you're out there, you don't have a care in the world. You can just play free because you know that the crowd has your back and they're on your side, and no matter what you do, they're cheering and supporting you. And for me, I hadn't felt that love or that care in a minute. So to be in Wintrust Arena and just play, it's just an amazing feeling, especially when I hit the shot against Vegas. Like the crowd really had got rocking. Like those type of moments, I just take with me forever. Seriously.
Love to see it. Thank you so much, Kennedy.
Thank you.
Alyssa?
Hey, Kennedy.
How you doing?
Um, I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you.
What areas of your game do you think are gonna cool? What areas of your game do you think are gonna grow the most in the off season?
I think I'm gonna work on pretty much everything. I cannot let everyone know the things or the areas that I'm going to attack specifically, but just know I'm attacking all areas. And I do want to be eventually put in the all defensive conversation just based off this season for what I was doing. I think that my defense showed. So working on defense, start there.
Yep. And then it really seemed like you were kind of leading this team this year. And I was just curious, like how you would kind of describe your leadership style, and then maybe if there's been leaders in your life that you've kind of played with that you feel like you learned from.
I think my leadership style, it comes from my play. I think a lot of people respect me, and that allows me to say the things that I want to say, and that just allows me to feel comfortable to lead by example, lead by the way I play, and just show what needs to be done or how it needs to be executed. So I just think that I have a very laid back style. Like I'm not too like uptight, or I'm not the person to, pinpoint things. I'm the person that if I see something, I say it and we fix it right then and there. And then I'm also the person that's gonna uplift my team. Also the person that if you took a bad shot, you're not even gonna think it was a bad shot because I'm gonna tell you, take another shot. Like I just feel like it's the all around comfortability that I make a player feel is how I lead.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Last two, Nathan and then Steven. Nathan, go ahead.
Hey, Kennedy, how are you doing today?
Doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing well. 20 starts out of 33 games, played for you this season, just through your day to day. What are some positives that you're taking away just through your recovery, given that, oftentimes we'll see athletes, beat themselves up while trying to get back to that 100% level?
Positives I'm taking away is that it could have been, bigger than expected. I think everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer in God and what He's doing for me and the journey that I've been on. So that's something that I could take away, that it just wasn't that serious. It just needs needs time. I just need to take a break. Something that just lets me know that I've been on my feet a lot this season. You know, I've been running a lot. I've been playing a lot of minutes. So it was just one of those things.
All right, thank you. We'll end with Steven.
What's going on, Kennedy? How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm blessed. I appreciate you. I had a couple questions for you. I wanted to look first. You mentioned that you wanted to improve your defense. I feel like that was something that stood out to me. This season with you. Was it just film watching, or was it attention to detail, talking with coaches? Was it just more care being taken on defense? Like, what was it for you that really clicked this season and made you see growth?
I watched when I was sitting out pretty much a lot of players' games, and I somewhat studied typically the best players in our league. So that was kind of something that helped me a little bit, just kind of knowing some of these players and then kind of playing with some of these players, being just shuffled around to three teams, kind of came across a lot of great players in this league. And then just film, attention to detail in the film room. They constantly was on me about just seeing the ball, kind of like just being in help side. That was something that I could say that in film that helped me out, or like being on the nail. So just paying attention to things like that. They reiterated it all season. It stuck with me. And it was something that I knew that if I want to take my game to the next level, I got to be able to play on both sides of the ball. So that's just me locking in on that.
And then offensively, I know you say you don't want to give up too much of what you got in the bag for this summer, but or off season, but it really feels like you relish playing through contact and you almost
Yeah,
invited.
but can we like understand that if I'm playing through contact,
Mm-hmm.
then there's contact
Mm-hmm.
there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or am I tripping? Okay.
Nah, I agree with you. To that point, what kind of goes into the skill development part of playing through contact and always being on balance and like you said, staying on your feet more often than falling on shoulders and wrists and things like that?
I give credit to just for one, and Crosby, just making sure that I was strong throughout the season. I rely on my legs. My legs are just pretty much 90% of what I do. So it requires you to be strong. It requires you to be able to push a defender or be able to take a hit playing through contact. So just really just trying to take care of my body and just, I guess, maneuver through traffic and see defenders in everywhere I can and just try to still finish at the rim. It's honestly a tough job to do night in and night out, but I try to do it as best as I can.
And then my last quick one for you, watching 3-on-3 in the Olympics this past Olympic trial kind of made me think of you. I was curious if playing 3x3 is something that you ever kind of crossed your mind or something that you would want to do potentially going forward.
Um, that's kind of a touchy situation. I don't think that they have any interest in me, so my interest just has to be somewhere else at that point, if I'm just being honest. But am I really good at 3-on-3? Yes. And will you see me play it somewhere in the future? For sure.
For sure. Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alrighty, thank you. Thank you, Kennedy.